out there in Banjo land. Mike Heading here, coming to you today with the tune Turkey in the Straw, a classic traditional fiddle tune, and we're going to play it on the banjo out of a melodic style in the key of G without retuning the banjo. So if this is new to you, I'm going to break down the melodic G scale, and then I'm going to break down the whole tune note for note, give you all my tips, and then I'm going to give you some backup and an alternate variation on the A and the B part. So you can work on kind of improvising or varying these fiddle tunes a lot, which is a huge part of the style. I think a beginner might be able to get this one down with a little bit of practice. An intermediate player should have, this would be a good practice for an intermediate player as well. There's a lot of positions and movement and stuff there's tons of stuff you can practice here. Working on your tone, working on your speed. A lot of these other positions will be used in a lot of other songs too. So there's a ton of great stuff here. So let's break it down. Here's the A part. But before I do that, first let's talk about the melodic G scale that we're going to need to play this song. So we're going to use, again, a lot of notes up on the 5th and 7th frets. We're going to be up kind of in this position up here. And then we're eventually going to get up to around the 9th and 10th fret up here. Okay, so this is a little tricky if you haven't done it before, but I'll break it down real slow. So the trickiest part about playing in melodic style is we're going to be moving across the strings a lot. We're never going to play, at least to start, we're not going to play two notes on the same string. Okay, so we're going to start with an open G on our 3rd string. So I'll just play the scale kind of quick and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, so it's just a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale here, so just a simple major scale. So we're going to start with an open 3rd string, and I use my index finger to pick that note. And then we're going to hit the 7th fret of the 4th string, so it's kind of weird. You're going down to a lower string to grab the next higher note, which is, sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around at first, but yeah, a lot of times you're going to be going down to what would be a lower string to actually play a higher note. So here we go. So first is open again on the 3rd string. Then you're going to hit the 7th fret of the 4th string, and I use my 3rd finger. And then you hit the open 2nd string. So I'll just play those first 3 notes. And with my right hand I did index, thumb, and then index. So it's a do, re, mi. And then we're going to hit our 1st finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and I use my thumb. And then you use your middle finger, open 1st string. And then 5th fret of the 2nd string, and I use my 2nd finger of my left hand. And then 4th fret of the 1st string with your 1st finger. And then open 5th string. So you're going to be kind of basically going back and forth between the 5th and the 7th fret and the 5th fret. So I'll play it real slow again a couple times. Whoa. Kind of really working your index and middle finger a little bit more than maybe you're used to if you're playing Scruggs style. So here we go. I'll do it a couple times. Whoa. One more time. Okay, so if that's new to you, that might be something to, a whole lesson in itself of just practicing that scale. Again, you can run it up and down or take those notes and mix them up in different orders, which is basically what we're going to be doing for Turkey in the Straw. Okay, so one more little tip, or actually scale thing we got to do is to get to our next set of notes. We're actually going to have to transfer up to the 9th and 10th fret, way up here. And so you can make that switch with using your 5th string, that last note of the scale that I gave you. So right here you're going to hit an open 5th string, And then you take this position and just move it all the way up to the 10th fret on the second string and 9th fret on the first string. That's how you get those second set of notes. Some of you more beginner players, if you've played, there's a kind of a melodic break to Cripple Creek that sometimes kind of goes like this. Kind of does this little. I've seen a lot of beginners, for some reason, have learned that break, which is pretty cool. But that's kind of the position we're going to be using if you're familiar with that break. We're going to be up on the 10th fret on the second string and the 9th fret. So what I practice is, again, shifting back down. So you're shifting back down to the 5th fret and the 4th fret. And again, you're using your 5th string to help you, again, use your open strings to help you get to make those shifts. So that's what I would practice first, is just shifting back and forth between those two positions. Because in this song, we're going to have to do that quite a bit, and you kind of just need to figure out that distance and how far you got to move, and you just got to do it a bunch of times until it becomes kind of natural. Okay, so for Turkey in the Straw, for the A part, we're actually going to start up here, and we're going to transition back down. Okay, so we're going to start with kind of a backwards roll up in this same position, and I'm using my first and second fingers of my left hand. So with our right hand, we're going to do a middle and an index. So we're going to play those first two notes, kind of a pickup notes. And then we're going to use our 5th string to play some of the melody. And our 3rd finger is going to kind of go down on the 11th fret of the 3rd string. So kind of maybe a new position for you, but it's pretty cool when you can get a bunch of notes out of it. So we're going to go. Then I'm going to hit thumb on my middle, or on the 5th string, and then index on that 11th fret. Let me play a little faster in context. You're going to be kind of doing a thumb with your right hand, thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb, index a bunch of times back and forth. Let me play it a little faster, you can hear it in context, and then I'll break it down. A couple more times. So basically, you can keep all these fingers down and just use your open strings, and you should be able to play that whole melody without actually having to move your hand at all. So your index of your right hand is moving back and forth between the 3rd string and the 2nd string, and your thumb of your right hand is hitting the 5th string 3 times. Let me play it one more time. One more, a little faster. Okay, so that's our first lick, and we're going to use that lick a bunch of times. So that definitely is a good one to practice. That's kind of the theme of the song, really. So one more time. Then we're going to actually transfer all the way back down here, and this is where we really got to use our open strings. So we're actually going to use. So we have a quarter note to end that phrase. Whoops. So we go 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and then we're gonna slide all the way back down here, and that little pause on the 5th string should hopefully give us enough time to get back down there. Then we're gonna hit an open 2nd string, and then our left hand's gonna use our 1st finger, and we're gonna hit a 5th fret on the 3rd string. Sometimes easier to play than explain, so. And then I'll play the next phrase, and it's just some middle index back and forth. I'll play that part a few times. So you're going to do kind of it's like a pickup into that phrase, so 4 and then you open with your right hand, open on the 1st string, and then you put your 2nd finger of your left hand down on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then open on the 1st string again, then open on the 2nd string, and then open on the first string again. So again, kind of a weird roll. It's not actually really a roll. It's kind of just a middle index thing. And again, that just goes back to that's what we got to do to play the melody notes. So in melodic banjo playing, you try and you're working around the melody rather than working the melody into the rolls like you do in Scruggs style. So it's a little bit different. So let me play that part again. I'll play. So it's kind of the pickup of the first measure going into the second measure. Again, you're going to use your first and second finger of your left hand and just keep them down. So one more time. Okay, so I'll play those first two, or the first two measures together. Here we go. One more time. Got it. So yeah, again, it's just practicing getting back and forth, and you really, again, use your open strings. They're your friends. One more. A little faster. Yep. Again, this is a good one for practicing your timing. We got a lot of quarter notes. We got eighth notes. So we really got to play those pauses correctly, or the timing of the melody is not going to quite come out. So, okay, so after we do this, so this is the beginning of the second measure. Then we're going to transfer back up to our kind of starting position, and we're going to use the fifth string again to help us get back up there. So right when you hit that open first string, start moving up. So I'll play that second measure again so you can hear it. And that's where I start moving, because I'm using a bunch of open strings right there. So start moving early. And then I'm going to go back to my home position, or the starting position, start with my fifth string and roll forward, thumb and then index on the second string. And then I'm going to hit and I'm going to hit two first string quarter notes in a row. I'm just keeping this whole position down. And then I do a backwards, actually kind of a mixed roll. And then middle on the first string. And then two indexes. So let me play that whole part. It's much easier to play than explain. So starting in the pickup of measure 2 going into measure 3. So I'm rolling forward. Couple more times. So again, you kind of just keep that position down the whole time. So I'll play the whole part, the first 3 measures. One more for good luck. Start moving. Okay, now we're actually back to kind of the beginning part again. So we play the beginning phrase again. So we start with that backward roll again. Keep your fingers down. And our third finger of our left hand is going to go down on the 11th fret of the third string. And we go back down again, same roll as before, same as measure 2. And then this is our ending lick. We're going to stay down low, and I'll show you how to do it up high eventually, but we're going to stay down low for our ending lick. And so I'll play the ending lick and then I'll break it down. Okay, so this is kind of measure 7 and measure 8. So after we do that, we're going to bring our third finger all the way back up to the 7th fret of the low string, of the 4th string, and we're going to start with our index, basically the first couple notes of that melodic roll or the scale I was showing you, and we're going to do index on the 3rd string open, and then thumb on the 4th string, and then index and middle on the 2nd and 1st strings, and then 2nd fret or 5th fret of the 2nd string with our 2nd finger of our left hand. So I'll play that. Let me break down measure 8. And then we're going to go back down here and do a hammer on. Whoops. Okay, so let me break that part down. Again, it's probably easier to play than explain. So starting with measure 8. So we're going to start with our index and middle on the thumb, and we're going to do kind of a syncopated roll. So this is, again, good practice for your time, and we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and then we do a hammer on open to 2 on the 3rd string and use our thumb, and then we're going to hit open 2nd string, and then thumb on our 3rd string, and then 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and we use our index finger of our right hand, and then down to the 4th string on the 4th fret 4th string, and then open 3rd string. Again, we're going to use just a index middle, like kind of single string thing at the end there. So let me play that. So it's the pickup of measure 7 going into measure 8. Let me just play it a bunch of times. Again, you kind of have to transition from up here back down to your low. Again, this is a really good song because we're really moving all over the neck and you're just kind of getting all those different positions down. So here's the pickup of measure 7 going into measure 8, and then the measure 9 is kind of the ending lick. Couple more times, and really be careful that pause at the beginning. So you're going 1 and pause and 2 and for those final licks, I use my 1st and 3rd finger of my left hand. Some people might be easier to use your pinky if that 2 to 4 feels like a really big stretch. But you can try. I use my 1st and 3rd finger, and my hand's not too big, so that's what I would recommend. But so let me play just measure 9. So I'll play that a bunch of times. Again, kind of it's not a traditional Scruggs roll by any means. You're just doing what you need to do to pick out that melody part. Okay, so I'll play again measures. Let's play that ending part again. So the pickup of measure 7 going into measure 8. Awesome. Okay, so the other recommendation is don't do that hammer on too quick. Really give that some time. If you hammer on too quickly there, you're going to get off beat and skip a beat there. So one more time, that whole phrase again. Okay, and then it goes, and then you got to travel back up. So you're going to have to move again pretty quickly back up. So after you go, again, you got to pretty much snap right back up there because we're going to have to play that pickup again into the A part again because most fiddle tunes repeat each part twice. And then we're going to repeat that whole thing. So let me kind of show you how I get back up there. And again, it's just practice of just doing it a few thousand times or however many it takes you. Hopefully not that many, but so let me play again. I'll play the pickup going into measure 8, measure 9, and then we'll practice getting back up there. And I'm kind of just playing the first measure, going back into it again. So again, that whole part's the same. Couple more times. Again, I think for maybe definitely an intermediate player, but maybe even a beginner, the rolls and positions, there's not a lot of, it's more once you get it down, it's actually not that hard of a song to play realistically. You know, the rolls aren't that hard, and the you're not doing any crazy left hand moves. It's really just kind of getting the positions you need to be in, and then getting there with the right amount of time. So again, that, you know, and I don't expect you right away, but once you're looking through the tab and you've played it a little bit, start finding those spots or circle the spots on the tab that you need to really move quick, and even exaggerate a little bit if you need to, and just, you know, get up there real quick so you're ready to go. And again, use your open strings; they're your friend in this case.